The guy in this story basically turned his neighbour's car into a giant block of ice. Like, literally. I mean, fully frozen, solid, immovable. Like something you'd see in a weird low-budget science experiment. And honestly, the more I read, the more I understood exactly why he did it. Because this wasn't one of those petty, he parked slightly over the line situation. This was layers of nonsense. So this guy, let's call him Dave, had moved into a townhouse for work. Temporary situation, just one of those things you have to do sometimes. He's living there with his girlfriend at the time, now his wife. Place sounds pretty standard. 2 bedrooms, shared wall, single garage. And that garage becomes very important in this story. Now next door lives that kind of neighbour. You know the type before I even explain it. The loud one, the I peaked in high school energy. Always has a group of mates hanging around like it's a permanent backyard party that nobody else wants to be at. And for a very brief moment, things seem fine. First impressions, friendly, helpful even. But yeah, that doesn't last. So early on, this neighbour casually brings up the garage, like in a he's already decided it belongs to him kind of way. Apparently, the previous tenants used to let him use it. Which, first of all, is already a bit weird. But okay, maybe they had some kind of arrangement. Except something feels off, because when Dave checks in with the landlord later, the response is basically, do not give him access under any circumstances. And when a landlord says something that firmly, you listen. Turns out, there had been a break-in at the place before. And while nothing was proven, the neighbour and his little crew were suspected. So suddenly this isn't about sharing space, it's about trust. Or more accurately, a complete lack of. Now, here's where things start to spiral a bit. Because when Dave says no, the neighbour doesn't just accept it. He loses it. Like properly unhinged. To the point where his own friends have to step in and hold him back. And from that moment on, it becomes this ongoing low-level campaign of annoyance. Stuff just keeps happening. Beer cans showing up on the lawn, music at ridiculous hours, blocking the driveway for no reason. And the worst part, Dave's wife starts getting uncomfortable just existing outside, which is where it stops being annoying and starts being genuinely not okay. And the thing is, none of it is big enough individually to escalate properly, but together, it's exhausting. So winter rolls around, and now the neighbour has a new problem. His oversized truck doesn't fit where it needs to. Street parking's not an option, and visitor spots are off limits. And suddenly, that garage that he's been obsessing over matters a lot more, but he still doesn't have access. And instead of, I don't know, just adjusting like a normal person, he doubles down on being difficult. At some point, his other car, this heavily modified, very loud, very look-at-me kind of car, gets damaged, and he immediately decides it's Dave's fault. No evidence, just accusations. And that's kind of the final straw. Because not long after that, Dave goes outside and finds his Christmas decorations completely trashed, just ripped apart and thrown around the yard. And that's the moment where something shifts inside him. Like, alright, I'm done being reasonable. So that night, during a proper cold snap, Dave grabs the garden hose. And every so often, throughout the night, he sprays down the neighbour's car. Not in a way that would draw attention, just consistently, throughout the night. And by morning, that car is completely encased in ice, like fully stuck. Can't move it, can't open it properly, it's just part of the driveway now. And when the neighbour sees it, absolute meltdown. Shouting, swearing, the whole neighbourhood gets a front row seat. Authorities show up, look at it, and basically say, yeah, that's unfortunate, and leave. Meanwhile, the neighbour and his friends try to fix it, and just make it worse. Tools come out, things get damaged. At one point, they literally damage the car trying to get it free. It takes about a week before it's even remotely usable again. And by then, the damage is done, in more ways than one. And look, I'm not usually someone who jumps straight into revenge is justified. Most of the time, it just makes everything messier. But this one, I kind of get it, because it was calculated. almost calm. And honestly, it feels less like revenge and more like a very specific form of boundary setting. Like you've ignored every reasonable approach, so now we're doing this instead. Also, there's something about the fact that no one could really prove anything. Like, what are you even reporting? That winter happened, but more aggressively than usual? And the ending? The neighbour eventually gets caught doing something actually criminal and ends up in jail, which feels less like karma and more like confirmation. You kind of already knew that this was where this was heading. So, yeah, turning someone's car into an ice sculpture probably isn't the recommended way to handle a bad neighbour, but after everything leading up to it, I get it. What about you? Do you think that crossed the line? Or is it exactly the kind of quiet payback that situation called for? That was Sweet Revenge. It always comes back around. If you enjoy that kind of ending, you'll probably want the next one too.